Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Mano y Mano, the show where we pit two fictional characters to the death in the pit. And this week, well, let's just say, hold on to your hats if you're a fan of Arbor Day. Am I right, Joe?
That was a good one, truly.
Thank you. I tried. All right. Joe, as always, would you please introduce our combatants?
Why, certainly, Jimmy. Give me one moment here. This thing on. In the red corner, we have standing at a staggering line.
Unknown
Height and a jaw-dropping weight. Line again.
It's unknown.
A jaw-dropping unknown quantity of pounds. Swamp Thing. You know, like the horror music. All right. And in the blue corner, a popular modern-day hero at a staggering
Unknown.
we don't know, but a constantly changing form, height, and weight. We've got Marvel's go-to plants boy. Groot. I cannot laugh at that guy.
Perfect.
Ba-da-da-da. Ding ding. Ding ding.
That's right. So we researched it, and it seems to shift a lot. For people who wanted to know, I looked up the weight and height for Groot, and we got something like 8,000 pounds for his weight and 23 feet tall. I don't think that's right, but it seems like it shifts all the time. So
That ain't
really,
right.
if we had to eyeball him in like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, would you say he's like 8 feet?
At one point, he's maybe like 8 to 10.
Sure, somewhere in there.
There's that one point where he towers over Peter Quill when they're standing in the prison or whatever.
Yeah. So believe it or not,
Experience with logs, Jimmy. There's no 8,000 pound log that's only 10 feet long unless it's got like a diameter of 5 feet.
it's petrified wood, Joe. That's what it is. It's
So
just
it's very dry, brittle, and light.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, no, petrified wood, that's like the concrete, that's like a rock.
Oh, okay, yeah, so fossil. Yeah, fossil.
Yeah. Yeah, you might need to move the mic closer because now people can't hear you because you're so close on the mic.
Oh, yeah, like acting like I was yelling too much and you moved back, so I was like...
No, I'm good. I'm just excited. I'm just so excited. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. So these two guys actually have very, very similar power sets. So, so I'll just go through what I'm getting here for Groot. We basically have like a healing factor, change his size, superhuman strength, superhuman durability. He can control how the plants grow on his body. I'm not sure if he can control other plants, though. That doesn't seem to be what he can... Oh, no, it says... Oh, sorry. Yes, he does. Okay, he can control other plants, too, to some degree. So that's where it starts to get a little bit weird here. And he can also heal other people besides himself. That's for Groot. Swamp Thing has all of that.
Hold on, and don't forget, he ain't got friends, only family.
That's... He's voiced by Vin Diesel, so that's for sure.
Like 10% tougher.
Yeah, so Swamp Thing has all of that and more. He has a lot of like stuff where he can resurrect himself. He can like astral projection is what I have here. Like, so that's not necessarily gonna matter, but he's actually pretty smart, and that's one thing I think will be kind of a deciding factor in those kind of the fight here. Also, Swamp Thing is like all the plants on Earth, and he's like tied to all of them, and he can make like copies of himself. And like, I don't know, I think it's a cool idea in our heads, but like I just don't know if this fight is really gonna go Groot's way because of the fact that like Swamp Thing's everything Groot is plus more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So at first it would seem you have kind of a stalemate ish. But then, yeah, you add that into the equation, it's a little higher tier.
Yeah, and also DC, a lot of times I try to like remind people of this too. Like a lot of their characters are like the gods we look up to, whereas like the Marvel characters more so are like the people we look to. You know, like it's like okay, so they're more of like they're not as crazy high scale. So like if they both can control plants, I feel like there's I don't know if it would be like a stalemate, but I still feel like Swamp Thing, he's got so much more to offer too. Like I just feel like he's so powerful. Swamp Thing's kind of nuts, man. Like that's a powerful creature and a good combatant in Injustice 2. Not Gods Among Us, just Injustice 2, which we used to play. And I remember thinking like, oh, he's got clones of himself, and he can make clones of himself.
I like playing as him in Injustice 2, Gods Among Us. Right? Yeah. I love fighting in the swamp with him, and you got that alligator that he grabs and throws, and then he like grows out of the marsh, just stabs you and stuff. All of which, like, really, how powerful is all that? He's more of like, you know, like his Hulk abilities are kind of better than anything.
Yeah, and I don't know if he has an upper range of actual strength, because when I've looked into it, it doesn't necessarily give him one, because he's like connected to all plants and the green, which makes him very powerful. So it's like, I don't know if I could really. I'd just say like right there, he's already stronger than Groot probably is going to be. I think he just assimilates Groot, you know. Like I just feel like he'll just be like, like he'll just be like, oh, you're part of the plant.
Yeah, because Groot's technically a plant, right? So he belongs to Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So tell me this: Swamp Thing is more humanoid, right?
Kind of. I don't know. They're both kind of in that same group where they're humanoid, though. Wouldn't you say they're bipedal, two arms?
He's not like a walking tree, right?
No, remember he looks like a swampy green person.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Groot, like, I almost want to look up some illustrations, but Groot can like, what if he like grew? All right, we're getting into the fight part of it.
Yeah.
Give us the rundown. What are they in? How are we setting this thing up? What are the rules?
Okay, as always, we put them in the pit, which is a thing that we have developed here at Critical Reviews. The Legion has built it for us. It's this kind of gladiatorial arena, red clay, kind of two cave cages on either end, big kind of like vibranium, adamantium mixture, like cage on the top half, like this half, like a dome as it were. And so they come out, they walk out, they know that they have to kill whomever is on the other side. And that's it. There's only like red rocks and stuff in there. There's nothing else. So right there, I'm thinking like, if they know that. And Groot, I love Groot. He's a little slow. I think that's the problem. I think they both have kind of similar powers. And even though Swamp Thing would do better with more plants around him, he's just smarter. Like, I think he might outsmart him. He would know to kill him or just kind of like control him right away. He'd be like, oh, cool. You know, where Groot would be like, I am Groot. And be like just get crumpled into himself or something. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, man? Do you agree with that, or are you on Team Groot?
I'm kind of Team Swamp Thing. I gotta admit. I mean, as I look into him a little bit, he's something to be reckoned with.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's insane. But again, it was a cool idea, and I know that's it was something that you had kind of said like, oh, you want to see Swamp Thing fight, you know, somebody else, and I was kind of giving out different ideas to the patrons, and I kind of figured Groot was going to get chosen because Groot's the kind of the best known, like, kind of tree or you know vegetable life form or vegetation, you know, or something like that. So I was like, yeah, it seems like a good matchup, because like you don't want to have Swamp Thing fight like Ghost Rider or something. That'd be kind of weird, or kind of cool.
Be an easy win for Ghost Rider, but still cool.
Yeah,
you could even fight in Swamp Thing's turf, you know, what up? Yeah,
that'd be an interesting fight. I just love Ghost Rider.
Fire, baby.
I think Ghost Rider might be on the next Mono a Mono. Anyway, but yeah, so are we both in agreement here? Do we think that the winner is Swamp Thing?
I think so. I mean, if you think about it, what's Groot gonna do to try and combat this guy? Grow himself into, you know, defensive things, shape shift type dealio. You know, he can form into a ball, all that crap, whatever.
Make blades.
But he's very malleable, can do whatever. Is he gonna grow up and grab onto the top of the cage and just hold on up there and wait out Swamp Thing till he dies of starvation? I don't think so, because Swamp Thing can get up there too, right?
That's true, and because I believe there would be some sun, actually, Swamp Thing can self-sustain indefinitely. So as long as he has got photosynthesis, he's probably going to be good. I mean, he probably just keeps that water, just keeps recycling it somehow. I don't know how he does it.
Could Groot do something like grow his hand tendrils, fingers, and just like right through the nostrils of Swamp Thing and just rip his guts out?
I don't know. I don't know if he could. I don't think he could do that because, like, what guts are you going to pull out that he can't make because he's got, like, the regeneration factor on there, too?
You essentially can't kill him unless you burn him to the ground.
I feel like, yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. And I'm sure in the comics, there's been plenty of times where Swamp Thing has been defeated by something, but we haven't read all the comics. I'm sorry. Like, we look into it enough, but I maybe throw him in the vacuum of space. Maybe that doesn't even kill him. I don't know. This guy seems very tough. Like, Resurrection, too. I'm like, oh, great. So it's just like... But also, Groot... See, the thing is, like, you can't just kill Groot because if you have, like, one little twig of Groot, Groot will come back. So, like, that's why I feel like Swamp Thing to, like, win would just be, like, assimilation. So it's almost not like a null victory. I still think Swamp Thing's going to win if it came to just, like, beating each other to a pulp. But I still think that's how it's going to end. Like, he's just like...
Yeah, so plant life makes up his body. By weakening the green, one weakens Swamp Thing. Guess what he is most vulnerable to? Fans or listeners, everybody. If you consider yourself a fan, then great. What's your answer? What's he most weak to? What's his most vulnerable? What's the word I'm looking for?
Weakness.
What is he most vulnerable to?
Commitment. No, I was like, I can't do it. Is that?
We gave you enough time, Jimmy. What's your answer?
My answer is fire.
Believe it or not, pollution.
Oh yeah.
Vulnerability to pollution. Pollution is highly dangerous to the plant life that makes up the body and the plant life he is connected to.
Yeah, well, Groot's not going to do any polluting. Like,
by weakening the green, one weakens the Swamp Thing. Yeah, you would think that would actually hurt Groot as well, right?
So if you want to beat him, if you are going to fight Swamp Thing, just grab your car and just kind of put his face in the freaking tailpipe and you're good to go. That's a victory for you. But I feel like it's kind of a stomp here. But I think should we declare Swamp Thing the winner? Even though this might be kind of a tenderly fight at first, I think it's going to be over pretty quickly.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I wonder if he could almost grow. Have multiple copies of himself. He can grow multiple copies. So even if Groot stood a chance, I don't think he's gonna stand a chance when there's 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. It's he could skewer a bunch, but then I don't know. He would just control how he moves and make it so he can't skewer stuff. Yeah, I think it's okay. We can say that the winner is Swamp Thing, which
out of the red corner at an unknown height and weights.
Exactly. That's why we always say that they're in corners, but we put them in the pit. So it's it starts as a boxing arena, and then we're like, all right, fight to the death. But I like it.
Resurrection is one of his powers, believe it or not, so he can't die.
Exactly. That's what I know. I was looking at that. I was like, yeah, I don't think. And I'm sure Groot's got some of that stuff too. But I'm just saying that you get beaten to almost death, and then you just get absorbed or whatnot. But yeah, really though, this the reason we do this show is it's for our patrons, but also just an excuse to get to see some of that beautiful Stephen Purefoy art. His stuff is fantastic. Please go check him out. It's Stephen Purefoy over on Twitter. He is the best. I think it's Stephen _ Purefoy. I just want to make sure. Yep, Stephen _ Purefoy. Check him out. Tell him that we sent you. And this fight was actually chosen by our patrons. Yes, it was. So if you want to go over to Patreon and donate, I believe it is at the mercenary tier of $10, then you too can decide and vote who gets to fight whom in the next mano-y-mano, which probably one of those people might be Ghost Rider next time. I think it might be. I just want to see Stephen try Ghost Rider. I'm sorry.
You're the general, Jimmy. I mean, spoiler alert. Can we say that?
Well, Joe, you picked this last one. You got to pick Swamp Thing, right?
Yeah, Swamp Thing, I was struggling. I was like, what's something not too mainstream, but something cool? And I was like, you know what? I always want to see a Swamp Thing movie.
Dude, it's coming.
Sounds like it's out there floating around, but I think it's going to push a little bit. But, I love that dark, spooky, scary swamp setting. Ooh.
Yeah.
Get into that.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Oh, that too. Oh, yeah. All right, but yeah, anywho, I thought, what a cool one, you know? And yeah, it would make sense to pick Groot one to go against.
Yeah. Well, thank you to our patrons who support us and did choose that one, but keep a lookout for the next Mono a Mono because it might be coming pretty soon. But again, thank you, Joe, for being here and for announcing these two combatants. It was a pleasure. We could talk about this, or I just love talking about this sort of thing. And if you enjoy watching this sort of stuff, we've done this in the past on our podcast, but we typically keep the fights to this show. But all right, well, thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, just remember to adapt and overcome.